Welcome to the Travel Plus Loyalty Podcast. We are again ready with our Monday morning update. Today our news update is about Airbus and the current order status. Singapore Airlines are now the biggest A350 customer. IATA warns that airlines' financial position is deteriorating, and lastly, that 95% of travelers are eager to travel abroad as soon as the travel ban is removed. In our deep dive history, we have visited Clarion Comfort Hotel Copenhagen Airport, where we have talked to Jesper Olesen on how it has been to manage an airport hotel during the pandemic and how it is to prepare the opening of the world's largest comfort hotel in under 4 weeks from now. Your host today is Jesper Olesen, and let's get started with our news update. Airbus order status and the fact that Singapore Airlines are now the biggest A350 customer. Airbus just informed that they have sold another 20 A220-300 to an undisclosed customer. Also, the lesser Avalon has signed a contract for 8 A320neo family jets, so the orders are still coming, but mainly to the smaller aircraft. So totally 28 new aircraft orders in March. When it comes to deliveries in March, 72 aircraft is delivered to 34 customers. That includes one of the A350s for SAS. Singapore Airlines also took delivery of 3 new A350s on the same day. That's made them the largest A350 customers with 55 aircraft, and that ahead of their launch customer Qatar Airways, who have 43 aircraft. Cathay Pacific are number 3 with 40 aircraft. IATA warns that airlines' financial position is deteriorating. The financial position of all airlines have deteriorated despite the global vaccination rollout and the growing economic recovery. That is what IATA warned. Their chief economist Brian Pierce said that the international traffic in February was down 89%. Also, the load factors are really low, only 40% on average for international traffic. We also see fuel cost and jet fuel has risen to around $70 a barrel, which is making it even harder for airlines to return to being cash positive. This together with the fact that borders are not going to open up at the same time, then the uncertainty are still high on when people start traveling again for real. The Europe and transcontinental markets should be able to open up in the second half of this year, but many emerging markets will be later. 95% of travelers are eager to travel abroad as soon as travel bans are removed. A recent survey conducted by SchengenVisaInfo.com shows that travelers want to travel again. The survey found that the majority of travelers, up to 95%, would consider traveling again as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted. Asked for what reason they would like to travel first if the borders reopen in the following month, 3/4 of the participants claim that the first trip that would take them anywhere would be to visit family members and friends. Only 70% plan to travel in order for relax, 14% in order for explore new places, and the rest for other reasons, including work-related, and that is only 8%. This shows some interesting patterns on when business travels are expected to return again to 2019 levels. Now it's time for this Monday morning deep dive.
Tough, it goes up and down. It will come back. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but we still don't know how long that tunnel is.
What you heard here was Jesper Olesen, who is the Cluster General Manager for Clarion Comfort Hotel Copenhagen Airport. We have a talk with him on how it has been to run a hotel in Copenhagen Airport during the pandemic, and also how it is to prepare a new hotel opening the world's largest comfort hotel, a hotel that opens up on May 6th. So, it's under a month from now. Let's continue with our talk. Jesper, welcome to the Travel Plus Loyalty Podcast. We are sitting in in the restaurant at the Clarion Hotel, and you have just shown me around your new hotel, Comfort Hotel Copenhagen Airport. Jesper, can you please explain a little bit about yourself and your role here at the two hotels?
I can try, and thank you for visiting in our closed restaurant.
Yeah, a closed restaurant, yeah.
Yes, if I'm to introduce myself, I've been in the hotel industry for 26 years now, I think it is. I started out as a night receptionist and then moved on to receptionist, front office manager and things like that. And then I've been a GM since I was 26. So this is hotel number 7 or 8 I run now.
Okay, so you almost stopped counting.
I stopped counting, I think, yes. But I've been within the Nordic Choice family for almost 17 years, apart from 1.5 years where I had to go and try something else.
Yeah. A small vacation.
Away from this family,
Yeah. So you basically born and raised in the Nordic Choice brand, or was it where you started your first hotels as well as a night?
No, I actually started in an unbranded private-owned hotel in Holstebro. And that has a funny story with that hotel because my brother was a dishwasher there when I started as the night receptionist, and now my brother owns that hotel and has owned it for 8-9 years now.
So being and working in hotels is kind of a part of the family.
It has come to the family with my brother and I.
Yeah. So you're discussing a lot of effort. What is he's running a hotel in Holstebro, and you're now running or soon to be run 2 hotels in Copenhagen Airport. Can you describe a little bit about how it is to prepare a new hotel, and how is it to run 2 big hotels, or going to run 2 big hotels? Is there any difference in that?
As you can say, the difference in running big hotels is that you have a big team. So that means you have a big team of very good managers. You have a very big support team. You also have used to have a lot of staff here, also all the time that we could use. So that is one of the big advantages of running bigger hotels is you have bigger teams. You have to control and do management, but not control, that's the wrong word. But you have to do management instead, and then people develop the things as long as you have good enough.
So you see yourself as a general manager, or as you mentioned earlier, the cluster general manager for Clarion and Comfort Hotel Copenhagen Airport. A long title, I must say.
Yeah, that is a very, very long title.
Yeah.
And it also takes a long time to write it.
I have to go good on business cards. But you see yourself as more as a guiding manager and letting people lead themselves.
I actually have what's it called, organigram, where it's upside down.
Okay.
So it comes guidelines and support from me, and then on to the people that are the most important ones, the one in the front, talking to the guests.
But that's by staying hotels a lot of times during the year. Then I also can see the difference in good service and service that is not, let's say, as focused as the customer as possible. So you try to let them focus a lot so your front staff is focusing a lot on the customers and making them welcome on the hotels.
Yes, that is actually our key priority. But also you can say my task can be then to free time for the managers to be able to free time for them to support their team, so that the team can then have the contact with the guest.
So what is the thing, since you started out here in 2018, what is the things that you have made as your guiding principles compared to before?
I can't say what it was like before because I wasn't here. But I can say one of my guiding principles is honesty. That you always get the answer from me that maybe it's not the answer you want, but you get an honest answer. And also, if the answer is I really don't know, I will have to find out. So that is one of my guiding principles, honesty in it.
Okay, I think it's again,
especially in this past year with the pandemic, it has been very. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't know as a general manager. A lot of guesses, and people ask me, "When do you think? When do you think? What will happen?" It's just to be honest and say, you know what? I really don't know. Time will show, and we'll see what happens.
So let's talk a little bit short. You mentioned the last year. So what have you been doing last year? What have you been doing with your employees, trying to motivate them? What have you been doing at the hotels to keep it alive at some point? You're saying we're sitting in a closed restaurant. It's a strange feeling sitting in a closed restaurant at a hotel. But what have you been doing here at the hotel for the last year?
You can say once the panicked with the first close down. Once that was a bit settled in, then you get into this. Okay, what can we then do now? What can we improve? What can we do? We were down to very few people in this house. Everybody else was sent home. So that means that everybody then has to do other things than they were normally doing. So all participated in serving or being in a reception or doing conferences. But then we also discovered that the people sent home have a big interest in what's going on in my workplace. How can we communicate this? How can we let people know what's going on? I think it started with emails and Facebook, and then one day I made a movie walking through the entire hotel and just showing people it's basically empty. So they could see that and maybe get the same feelings.
Even though
they're sent home. And after that, we've incorporated even more. So we send out a weekly newsletter with the numbers, the feedback, anything particular. We also send out the guest satisfaction and things like that. And we send out whenever there's something to say. And also, I think one of the most important things is this past year I learned that we also have to send out something even though there's nothing to say. So today I sent out an email that said, I don't know, holy crap, almost. It's been a year. Tough. It goes up and down. It will come back. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but we still don't know how long that tunnel is.
So what have you been doing adapting to the situation, keeping the some kind of activity in the hotel? What kind of campaigns or events have you been doing over the last year?
Once we were allowed to see more people again, we did some stuff. We did a cooperation with Speaks, where we actually had Lolo and Bernie stays here during the summer. And then in the fall, we did this pay what you want, 1 day only, where we set a minimum price and then send it out to the locals. You can come stay, and that was a big success. And not financially, but it was a good stunt, and also to make the staff feel that there's a buzz. People actually want this is funny. Right? And then right now we're offering dine and stay. So if you miss the restaurant feeling a lot, you can come here and we'll set a nice table for you in one of our deluxe rooms and serve you a nice 3-course dinner.
Yeah, that's I've seen some pictures of the table settings in the rooms, and when you have the biggest hotel rooms in Copenhagen, basically it feels like a small little restaurant with the service for two and a nice couch afterwards. So are these things that you have tried to do to, of course, from a PR point of view, but also to keep a little bit of activity in the hotel doing.
It is to keep a bit of activity, and it is also to keep us motivated and to keep us running. And it is a lot funnier to do 20 or 25 in-room dinings than it is to run up with the normal club sandwich or burger. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's also funny for the staff. And we try to rotate the staff, so it's not. We have a lot of waiters and chefs, and we rotate them in a schedule so that everybody comes in once in a while and gets the feeling of being at work.
So they are. You have no, or at least only a few employees who have not been at work. You're rotating them to keep them as a part of the family.
I think we have none that has not been at work.
Okay.
Some has always been at work at some point, where we try to rotate them as much as possible.
Okay.
Without losing the service delivery.
Yes, but then let's move to the next year, or a little bit looking in the forecasting and see how do you see the next year, and how do you expect to restart the hotel and also the neighbor hotel that is ready here in a couple of months?
I think the restart will be quite easy for us, also because we kept most of our staff. So that means that we have very talented and good staff still here. They're now sent home, but like we talked about earlier, they're also rotating, so everybody keeps their training and at least doing something. So I think we're quite well set for a restart. There is, of course, issues and things that should be addressed there, but I think we'll do that quite well, and we'll have some kickoffs, and we will also, because this is Nordic Choice, we will also have to do a party to kick off once we're allowed to do it again. But that is the way we do it also. So
the restart is not because of you have, let's say, the
core team is the same, and the employee is keep rotating. So of course they need to come into training and be at work every day, and that is of course a big change for a lot of us, I guess, coming back to work every day now. But how do you see opening up your new hotel with the 605 rooms here in the May timeline? How do you see the next couple of months in summer would go? How would that be from a hotel point of view?
It's going to be a really interesting time also because we have to open it sometime in May, and it's going to be interesting and funny. I'm going to just say the last couple of months where we start spending more and more time on planning the opening. It's interesting and it's fun and it's motivating to have something that big to look forward to. Now that we've been in this pandemic time for 12 months, it's really good to have something there. What will the flow in the market be when we open? That I'm still really uncertain on. And I don't think there is a good answer to that.
No, if we had learned something from the last year, I would say that things change on a bi-weekly basis, basically on a weekly basis sometimes. But so again, we hear that the vaccine programs are coming and all that stuff, but it changes again on a weekly or bi-weekly basis on what the forecast is. But you're saying you have opened up and it's motivating. The new hotel that you're going to open up, will that be with restaurants as normal? Would that be with the breakfast as normal? And of course, if times allows and all that stuff, will that be back to normal, or have you changed some of the concepts that you've learned the last year?
Because a comfort hotel is a different concept. The breakfast is the good breakfast buffet that once we'll be allowed to have it again, with the comfort set up on that, with its focus on fewer items but better than the big large ones. And then the restaurant concept, if we can call that, it's the barception. That means the reception and bar in one, where you can also order food. You can use your phone to order it, you can order there directly, and then you can have a really good pizza and a really good salad bowl. Or there's the deli where we have our sandwiches and everything. But it's based on a concept where you help doing the service part, and that's why you get it at a fair price.
So it's more, as you say, it's where you have Clarion as a full service hotel. Yeah. There you have now Comfort, your neighbor, with a little bit more self-service, a little bit more things is digitalized.
Yes. So we call it selected service.
Service, okay.
Because you add on the service that you want.
Okay.
So here you have the full service in Clarion Hotel, and Comfort Hotel it's selected service, and you can add on all the services you want. So
that means that you can get your restaurant or the pizza and salad, or you can use the deli. But
you can go to the bar on the 10th floor and look over the airport and over the sea. And it has all the possibilities, but you only pay for the basic to start with.
Yeah. And the basic in Comfort?
The basic to start with in Comfort is a room with a really good bed and a really nice bathroom.
Okay, and we've just been walking around over there and seeing some of the rooms, and I have to say that they definitely look okay, and the design is great.
Glad that you like it.
Yeah, but it's I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's fully opened, and also to try to jump in the bed to see how good it is actually. But when you're looking at it and seeing what is the difference, then you have 605 rooms that is catering for let's say every need or every type of traveler, and then you have Clarion here, who has a little bit, let's say, a smaller segment or more. It's a 4-star hotel with a full service and that. So how do you do this with the different room sizes?
You can say it's like when you order your plane ticket. It depends on what is your purpose for this travel. So if your travel is that you want to go on business class because you have to get there fast, everything has to be smooth and easy, and you have to get be able to get your room service at 3:00 in the night, and then you book the Clarion Hotel. If you are traveling on what's it called? Economy class.
Yeah, economy class.
Then you walk a little bit further, and then you come to the Comfort Hotel, and there you can add on the services that you want. But basically, you still get a good bed. You can add on a breakfast. You can add on your dinner if you like to, but you have to put a little more effort into it yourself. So it's like walking into the airplane.
So basically, if we look at that, say you have your hotel room with a good bed, good bathroom, good design, and some internet as well. Then you start adding it up. So do you want breakfast added? Do you want to go to the deli? Do you want to go to the pizza and salad restaurant? Yes. and all this?
Do you want to go to the bar on the top?
So that is added into that. And I also see there was no fridge in the rooms and so forth. So everything is down or up in the bar that has a marvelous view. That's going to be good to come up there and work, I guess. But also just having those extra facilities that you want to. Can you talk a little bit about the room types that you have, because it's also a little bit different compared to other hotels?
Yes, at the Comfort Hotel we have tried to make as many rooms. You can't say as many as for the family types there is, but there is a lot of options in there. There's of course the classic double room with one double bed. We have American twin rooms with 2 double beds in it, and then we have done the XXL room, which has 8 beds, and that can be for the, I don't know the English word for it, but for the families put together, who has your kids, my kids, and our kids. Or it can be for the football team going on a journey. It can be for the handball. It can be for boys' trip or girls' trip, and they want to stay in the same room. So there's 8 beds, and we have 15 of those rooms. That gives us quite a big capacity of people.
Yeah, and also the variation, as we mentioned, that you can cater for a lot of different ways of traveling, and that's centrally in the airport. And again, if you want to go to the city, it's just the metro is just next door. Again, you can walk directly from the room without getting outside and go directly to the metro station. So again, it's comforting in that. So if you look at the lobby, you mentioned a little bit about the deli and so forth. That is also a different thing, a different feeling that the guests will see when they enter the hotel.
Yeah, it's more of a. Yeah, you can say it's a lobby, but it's also a co-working space. It's a cafe, it's a deli, So it's more integrated into everything, more integrated into the way people work today.
So you want basically to not reduce, but hide a little bit this traditional lobby area, but having it as a place for living and working and going to the deli and
it's
having,
absolutely not a traditional lobby. No, that's also why the reception or things like that is called the bar reception, because you go there and you might as well get help with checking in, but you can also order your good coffee or your beer or whatever you would prefer. Yes.
Okay. And if you look at the other facilities around the hotel, what have been in focus on the hotel? What is it that you will highlight?
One thing about Comfort is it always has to be easy. That's also why the first thing you see when you walk in to the ground floor is a big self-check-in station. So if you don't want to stand in line, you don't want to talk to anyone today, you can just check in there. You can check in on your cell phone, and then you can go to the room. But we have also made the focus on getting a big and well-equipped gym with a lot of the CrossFit equipment that people use today. So it's possible to do a really good workout and then continue with your daily tasks.
So that's the workout is one thing. I also saw an area for in the perception area for the playroom for kids as well.
That's correct. That's another concept in it also, that it has to be a hotel that welcomes kids year round, and that's why we put in a fixed playroom, and there will be a climbing wall and other great facilities in there.
So again, all the traveler needs, so the parents can sit and have a beer, and you can move the kid into the playroom, and everyone is happy on that part, and the teenager can just use the iPad or tablet to do whatever they do in the teenage. But so is there other things that you will describe your main customers? Because it seems like the main customer is not easy in that here, because you have so many different room types. You have a different.
That's why it's easy. It's easy for everyone to choose it. Yeah. Yes.
So there's no different segment. It's both for the business traveler who needs a good priced hotel centrally placed, but it's also for the family who is embarking on their next vacation.
Yes, it is for everybody. And if we are located at the airport, we do also see all kinds of people. So that's why it's done like this. Yes.
Okay. And to round the hotel up, it's the largest comfort hotel that Nordic Choice have been built with 605 rooms. It's just above the one they have in Arlanda.
Yes, that's correct. We actually think it's the world's biggest comfort hotel.
That's fair. That will also be the world's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it is a big hotel, but that's also one of the advantages. But it is
okay.
It's big, and it's going to be really fun to operate it once we get it rolling.
Yeah, you mentioned something in the beginning that you have a motto: 2 hotels, 2 brands, and 1 team.
That's correct. That's how we're going to run it.
So you will swap between the 2 hotels, the conferences and kitchens and staff and so forth.
Yes.
So even though there is 2 different concepts, they will have some synergies in running this.
There will be a lot of synergies, and that's also why we've been able to keep most of our staff during this pandemic. We had a really good deal with the union on doing work sharing in the low periods, and we have had this lønkompensation that everyone can use in Denmark in some periods. So we are full and ready to go.
Lastly, I think we should talk a little bit about conferences, because on our tour around, we passed the hangar, a very big room that is used for conferences, of course, but also the different kind of meeting rooms that you have here in Clarion and in the conferences. What does conferences mean for the 2 hotels and the place here in Copenhagen Airport?
Conferences has always been important, also just at the Clarion Hotel. It is one of our key priorities, and it is one of our key concepts. But now that we opened the hangar with 2,500 square meters in the room and 1,500 more to breakouts, what I call a breakout lobby space, it is the possibility of doing a really large conference at the airport, where you can still, as you said earlier, also you can walk dry-footed directly from your flight and into the conference hall. And then we have 988 rooms on top of those in all categories. So we can meet everyone's demands.
So basically, I've been to quite many conferences in Las Vegas and so forth, and there you have these big hotels and conference centers. So it's a little bit the same feeling, actually, even better, because you don't need to basically leave the airport. But here you have everything under one roof. Now you can offer those big conferences that Copenhagen is quite attractive to share that. But you go directly into that competition now and wanted to take a big chunk of that market.
Yes.
Okay.
And we think our big advantage of that is, of course, the location, and then the flexibility of having 2 hotels and that many rooms with so many different categories. That is a big advantage when it comes to this.
So the new hangar, the 2,500 square meters, that is what you have been missing when you look to the Clarion conferences, basically. That you have been missing that big.
Yes, there's been that gap once you go above the 350 people. We can't have them in the Clarion Hotel, so that's why we have the hangar now, where we can actually take now 5 of 350 people in theory, at least. When before the pandemic.
Yeah. I will come back to those scenarios. We all hope for that one. But other than conferences, that it's going to fill a lot. We've also seen that you have been doing some first mover things that I haven't seen been done before. The one is the UVD robots that I have actually been up tapping to, and it didn't respond. It didn't light blue when it was in the charging station.
You need an iPad to control it.
Yeah, well, I tried on my iPad. I didn't have the right app, so it didn't want to start on that part. But talk about it. What was the focus when you took
the UVD robot is the robot that can go around and then disinfect the conference rooms with UVC light. And that's a quite strong light, so that's why it has to be done at night, and that's why it cannot be turned on by you when you try. So, and this is more what we saw in the fall. You have to add something extra. We can all put up dispensers with sanitizers and things like that, but you want to put down that extra layer of security, then we use the robot. It can never get rid of the normal good cleaning, because it doesn't clean like that. But after you're done, then you can have it in, and then you can't say 100%, but it takes away 99.1% or 99.9%, something like that, of all the virus that was in the room. And this can be a normal cold, can also be the corona, it can be everything.
So you've been taking this one in both in the corona times, of course, last year, but also most likely it will be a demand of better cleaning and sanitation things for conferences to actually be there as a demand for the customer. So I call it the Blue Lady, actually, because it seems in my head the Blue Lady is driving around at night.
I think we actually did a competition and named it Clean Eastwood.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's also a good one. That's good. And another thing you did on that I think is a new thing is you have built in cooperation. You have built a TV studio. That's a complete TV studio, and in that what is the
Yeah, we built this together with Creative Technology. That was more to we can see that the hybrid meetings are here for some time, and people need a place to go and do the production because you have to talk to your staff or your clients or whatever, and then people are requesting a professional setup. So that's why we did this together with Creative Technology and built a TV studio.
Yeah, and have there been any demand for it over the last period?
There's been a lot of requests and there's been a lot of interest in it, but because of the restrictions right now of number of persons you can be together, it's very difficult.
Yeah. It's basically too big.
It's basically too big because you need a camera team.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that sense, it's a bit.
But if you see that the conferences or online or hybrid meetings, as you mentioned, that it will most likely have some place in the world still, and you can see a lot of companies, they are trying to do Zoom meetings and whatever kind they're doing, and it's, let's say honestly, it's the quality is not good. So you're trying to put in and saying you now have the technology, you have the quality in place to offer that part, so you can both do a full service conference, but you can also do these hybrid conferences.
Yeah, I mean you can have an audience in there of 150 people if you're allowed in front of the TV, and that can give a more real experience for the ones also seeing it on TV. And they can still interact and they can still ask questions. We also, for the smaller meetings, have a small, or we will get it next week, a small Zoom need board that can actually be rolled around. So if you have a conference with 10 and you need 10 to sit in Oslo, then we have these things and we roll it in and then plug it in. And then you log in with your Zoom account, and then you are live. Okay. You can see what's going on in the room, what's on the screen, even though you're sitting on a screen in the back of the room.
Okay. So again, the hybrid meeting, you see that as a market that comes in, instead of meeting everyone here, 20, 40 people, then they will be split up in the three regions instead.
I still think people do want to meet, they do want to interact, they do want to reconnect, they do want to see each other in the eyes, have a beer, have a glass of wine, but we must also accept that hybrid meetings are here for a time at least, yes.
Okay. So
it might never go away again.
Yeah, it might never.
But we still, I've just been doing, it's not called a lecture, but this morning I was doing something where I have to talk 15 minutes in front of 40 people online. And when you do that, you can't see any reaction. You don't get the feedback. You get, okay, someone presses raise hand and I have a question, then it's not the same. No. It's never going to be the same.
No, that's also why I think we agree that at some point there will be some kind of new normal. That's the wording that a lot of people are talking about. But it will have a balance. Yes. It will have a place. So no doubt a hybrid meeting will be there in some way, shape, or form. But meetings, physical meetings, the networking and all these things, they most likely also will come back. I think we agree upon that. But to round it off, this episode on talking about it, I've been trying to book a Comfort Hotel for some time now, and does it hold here in May? Do I get my chance to have a stay during May? How certain are we on this one?
I can promise you can have a stay during May.
Okay.
If it's the 1st of May, the 15th of May, that way will...
But May it is?
May it is, yes.
Okay. So at May we'll have
I will have to call you later. But yes, now it is.
But at May we'll have the world's biggest comfort hotel with 605 rooms ready and open. And
unless something happens with the construction that no one can foresee and they close down the country entirely, we don't know. Yeah.
But we hope for that in May. Yes. Jesper, thank you very much for having us here, and we'll definitely, and we hear the planes in the background. It's a strange sound having a plane in the background in the airport, in these days. But thank you very much for having us, and looking forward to talk to you again at a later point.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
That is an end for our talk with Jesper, and he did confirm afterwards that the hotel will open up at May 6th. We from the Travel Plus Loyalty podcast team wish you a very good day, and if you do travel, then we wish you a safe travel.